Hey YouTube! So I want to make a video today about the spirit realm versus the biological realm and some of what I've been looking at on this subject, and I want to share with you guys. So I want to start by saying that most of us are raised to think of ourselves as a spirit or a soul inside of like a meat suit. This is just some temporary meat suit that you're wearing, and when this is all over, you'll get to float away into the spirit realm to be with God or whatever you think that is. And I made a video a while back called "The True Kiss of God is a Bite from a Snake," and this is sort of a continuation on that subject. I want to just delve a little bit deeper into what I think is going on there. What is flesh versus spirit, and what is the relevance? So, when I say the demon world and the spirit world, I'm going to put that right in conjunction with the AI and the black mirrors and the tech and the metal gods. And these to me are all related. And what I'm trying to say is that they are taking your biological brilliance, your biological truth, and they are funneling it very well. They're doing a really good job of funneling that into the spirit and demon realm. And AI, of course, is one of the main tools they're going to use to make that happen in this go round, because they've done this before. This is part of the dying off cell. So, you know, what I'm coming to learn is that we, as biological points of matter, you know, we live in cells. You know, and I've drawn this. Let's look at my drawings here. I've drawn this for you guys, and there's some savvy commenters kind of picking up on where I'm heading with it. Very cool, you guys. You know, like this. It's a cell. You know, you live inside of a cell, and the cell can be in a growth stage or it can be in a death stage. And we happen to be in a dying off cell. And this is just the larger seasons of biology. You know, cells grow and die and divide and grow on each other, and you know, this is how cellular life works, and that is what we are. So to me, it is relevant to start to differentiate between the biology and the spiritualism, because they are very good at trapping people with this, because we're here in the cell, in the inverted plasmic flow with the light, you know, that spins around, creating time, creating death, and creating blindness. So in this particular way, we are blinded here, so we can't see. We can't see where we are. We can't see what we are, and we're not currently turned on. You know, if we're in the eyeball of another creature, that creature's got its eyes shut. So, like a little, I'm going to use this little flashlight to sort of describe what I'm saying with that. Because as you've heard me say many times before, that this is your soul. It's a very dirty sock. This is your soul. That's your soul. And they're redirecting that into this invisible essence thing, and so that they can funnel that energy, which is life force energy, into the spirit and demon realms. Okay? They're taking what's rightfully yours and they are stealing it. Okay, so when the plasma comes from underneath and it's hitting the soles of your feet, you are lit up. You can see where you're at. You can see, you know who you are, you know what you are, you know what your purpose is, and you are turned on. And this is going to mean so many things for us. I did do a video called Inverted Light Possibilities, where I just feel like look at my dog, he's so cute, where I just started to touch upon the possibilities of what being turned on is really going to mean to us. So, but as we exist here now, we're not in that state. We're in the inverted state. So like all the little batteries are turned the wrong way. So this is what it's like here for us now. All the little batteries are turned directionally opposite of where they should be. We got nothing. So our life force, our life essence doesn't have us turned on right now. That's why we have to eat and shit, and why we can't get along, and why there's so many issues in the world, because we're not actually turned on. We're in the death stage of the cell. So we get that inverted light, and it does more than damage. It does death. It's the death culture. Look at your television shows and movies, and everything around you is based on murder and death and suffering and dying, and that's not a mistake. It's like that for a reason. And in fact, we can view it differently too. Instead of viewing it as in we're in this controlled environment and we're suppressed and we're subject to all this control and stuff like that. You can look at it that way. It's not like it's not true. But we can also look at it like we are living through a death stage cell. And we are doing this because we're going to go into a growth stage soon. So it's getting to the point where we're starting to remember that. We're getting to the death of the cell is almost complete. And I think a really good evidence to that is the cannibalism that they're trying to shove on us. There's all these shows about people eating people, and then we've discovered that they're putting aborted fetuses into our food to cannibalize us. It's not enough for us just to be eating the flesh and the blood. That's the culture here too, is death, murder, eat the animals. Oh, murder's only murder if it's another human kind of ideas. And, comment what you will, I am never going to agree with anybody who says it's okay to kill and eat animals. I'm never going to agree with that. It's not okay. Okay, if you want to be just part of the death culture and part of the dying off of the cell, which I think certain blood types are more inclined towards doing that. That might be even like their mission a little bit here. So in that sense, do what you want to do if you feel compelled in that regard. Maybe that's your role here. Maybe you are trying to help kill off the cell so we can get into a growth stage. And for you, that means feasting on flesh and blood, because that's your part, that's your role in it. I'm not really that's an individual's decision and choice. But I'm just always going to speak from the fact that I don't want to participate in the death culture like that. There's some of us here who want to maintain the life force within the dying cell, because that's part of the equation too. There has to be something left over. So, but it is our culture. We live in a death culture. We are in a dying cell. And this is, in this blinded state, they have us not knowing what we are. And they have us treating biology so badly. I mean, think of the medical industry and how they treat your body, and how, it's just like it's medicated or it's cut open and sewn back together. And just the way biology is treated is actually pretty yuck. It certainly isn't. And in fact, all the spiritual teachings are going to teach you yuck about the body too. They're going to tell you to disassociate a lot from body. People are really into meditation and different things. That's fine. It's cool. Meditate. I like silence too. I like to sit in quiet spaces, but I don't think disassociating from biology is really where we're going to reconnect with ourselves. So, if you're a big meditator and stuff, I would add into that some more connection to the whole system. Don't don't spend too much time just sitting up here. So your biology is shut down right now, and your spirituality is really turned on in this realm. And when you think of these spiritual practices and stuff, or even just the notion of God and these different named entities, which, you know, I do not believe in names or calling names. I think that is a really big way to get yourself in the wrong place. But anyway, so these entities, they need worship. They need you to exalt them and to love them and to associate yourself with them and to worship them. Why do they need so much worship? You know, I think about myself and my own body and who I am. I don't need worship. I'm good. I feel great. I'm fine. I certainly, and if someone came and knelt at my feet and worshiped me, I would ask them to stand and please embody themselves. So why are we funneling so much of our energy to entities that need worship? When you think about that, that is a deception. They are taking something from you biologically, and they are putting it into their realm. And they're funneling our energy into their realm constantly. Like I've talked about before, these are a funnel into their realm. And it's so frustrating right now, you know, because we use this tech to talk to each other on this front, right? To make a YouTube video or to connect with our friends or discuss how we're doing on this front. And it's frustrating because I'd like to put this stuff down. I'd like to walk away from it. I'd like to go back to the wild. It's another reason why I'm making this video today. I have a few videos I really want to make, and I might step out of this arena because of what I'm finding out and sharing with you now. And so the biology, this is where it's at, you guys. Yeah, think about their words. Prey. What does prey mean? Are you predator or are you prey? Why are there predators in the dying off cell? Because it needs to eat itself. It needs to die off. So you got predators here. You've got the eating of food and the shitting and the mining and the logging and the extractions, right? It's going on everywhere. It's because it's death culture. It's because we're in the dying cell. And so it's all killing itself off. And I think the part of the human biology that is maintaining itself and maintaining a life force is the aspects of us who are questioning this, who are going, this doesn't feel right. This isn't right. Let's find each other. Let's get out of this scenario. It's because that's what we're going to do. We are going to find ourselves in a reverse flow of plasma, and we will see where we are, which I believe is the eye. We are in the eye of another creature, or we're near the eye, an eye cell, or perhaps in the iris of the eye, or in the brain. Remains to be seen, because I am studying the biology a lot right now and have gotten turned on to a few different avenues to continue my research into, and I'm going to speak to that a lot in my next blood video. But I will speak to this right here. So here's the eyeball. And you see the little part of the eye where it looks like a flower. See all the little the little petals? It's in brown. Maybe my finger there. Those little. Okay. So to me, that looks an awful lot like this. You see the little petals of the old flat Earth map. You know, this is one of the ones that has all of the land masses, the full Antarctica land mass, and that's that really cool old map that's got all the sea monsters and stuff on it. I mean, you just look at this and be like, oh, that's closer to the truth. So look at that. That looks like a big iris. It looks like a big eyeball. Mount Meru in the center as the pupil. Yes. So when we're in that inverted flow of plasma that we're in now, that Mount Meru or the purple or the pupil would be which would be to me like a gate in a way, is open in the wrong way. So this is how I think the spirit realm is getting in. It's getting in through the edges of our system there, and when the plasma changes directions, that gate's going to close. They're just not going to have access here. They only have access when the cell is dying off and when we're in the death culture. That's their access. And, I'm suspicious of, let's say, like the aurora borealis, that green astral jet that comes through there. So with the inverted plasma and the light being what it is, I'm wondering, is that green astral jet somewhat of a visual understanding of that spirit realm coming in? Is it just inverted light and nothing more? I don't think so, because we're all vibratory. Light is vibration, and your optics are picking that up. So I'm suspicious of everything in this realm because I know I'm in death culture. I know I'm in the inverted realm. I know the light is backwards. So when this green astral jet light comes up, I find that slightly suspicious. I'm wondering exactly what that is. Now I'm not claiming it to be the demon world. I do have a friend that is really in touch with the aurora borealis, and it talks to him, and it appears to him, and it shows itself as a very loving and powerful presence. So I honor that. I think that maybe I don't know, but I am very suspicious in this realm because of the invisibility, because so much emphasis gets put on what we cannot see. And anything could be disguising itself. It's invisible. You do not know. And these things like, oh, have faith, and then that, to me, that's handing over your biology to who knows what. You don't know what that is. So I think part of getting through the death culture cell that we're living in now is maintaining stasis here. It's like returning to the place where you do have the ability to, I don't want to say control what's going on, but for lack of a better word, you can treat your body lovingly. You can nourish your body. You can speak kindly to it. You can, have good boundaries with others and care for yourself. The more you do here in this death culture realm, with the maintaining stasis and love here, that's really where it's at. Because everything out here it's all mystery here. It's all blinded. You're blinded to the truth of what all of that is. You don't know. So maybe I look at the aurora borealis and go, I don't know if you're like some putrid green light of the demon realm, or if you're this, beautiful green aurora heart energy of love. I don't have any way to differentiate that. So I'm not going to trust it as anything more than it's nature. I do trust nature. I do believe that nature is also biology. So in that sense, I trust that it's there for a reason. I trust that the aurora borealis and the green astral jet is shooting out, and that is part of the death culture and the dying cell, and it's serving its purpose. Do I know what it is exactly? No, I don't. But I see this demon realm coming in through so many different avenues that all I can do really is to center myself and be within myself and be in as much health as I can manage. It's probably a better word for that. These words are part of the spell. Like a friend of mine was talking about the spiritual stuff. That's the same friend. Said, well, your vocabulary is very limited around all of this. I'm always trying to limit my vocabulary when it comes to this topic because I feel very strongly that words are not our natural form of communication. That we, in the light, when the light's turned on, that we will speak through emotions and through telepathy. And so this word use is very confusing. Obviously, it's confusing. And, you know, however many people watch this video are going to hear me say one thing, and then a whole bunch of other people in this video are going to hear me say something else. And it's because of words. If I were able to communicate with you telepathically and through my emotional body, there would be no misunderstanding. You would understand all of it. So we're in this space here in the dying off culture where we have to use words and glyphs and stuff to communicate with each other. And I do want to limit that for myself, because I know that the inventors of the language that I am using are not my origins. They're not for me, and they're not for the growth stage that I'm looking forward to entering into. So I'm careful with words, and I'm careful with what's presented to me in this world. And I think that we all have to be. I really do. And now I want to share with you something my friend Aphrodite Rose Starfire shared with me recently. She found this link to a video, which I'm going to put in the description below, about Hans Purple. If you've already heard of it, great. If not, go down and watch this guy's video on it. This is compelling information, and will coalesce here with what I'm saying. So he talks about the Terracotta Army, which I took a few pictures off of it. Here's the Terracotta Army. These soldiers were unearthed in China. And as you can see just from this one picture, look how uniquely individual all those faces are. You know, they claim these were carved or something, but you can tell that they are life-size, real. Look at how some of them don't have heads there. Their heads are gone. But anyway, so these terracotta armies, which look at how many they unearthed. I mean, they don't say army for no reason. And this is in one location, this indoor arena, but there's more that were found outdoor. I mean, just look at that. Just they go on and on and on. And you can see the mud or dirt, whatever they carved them out of here, separating the different groups of them. So there's just so many. And so one of the things they discovered was that the terracotta armies were completely covered, just coated in this stuff called Hans Purple. Well, they take this into the lab. What is it? It's mercury. It's a metal, and it personifies this purple color. The color spectrum here is a large player in it, being the death culture, the rainbow, the red, the blue, all right, the purple. So this Hans Purple is completely covering all of this. And when they took it into the lab, they discovered the most insane thing, and that is that this metal literally takes you from the third dimension to the second. It made matter disappear. Okay? So these huge armies, terracotta armies, where you turn to stone or turn to pottery through plasma. I don't know how they became in the condition that they're in, but maybe it was just done through this Hans Purple. And their faces really trip me out. So what I'm thinking when I look at this information is, you know, these second heaven, two-dimensional spirit demon realm, that's what spirit is this demon realm, is after the biology. It wants the biology. You think of like the AI and stuff, and their grasp for our biology, the Human Genome Project, all this stuff with DNA, which I'll get to in a minute. But so anyway, so this metal, they use this metal to make all these people disappear. Well, I think it's more than that. I think that fear. They're using your emotionality, which is going to be your communication in the right plasmic flow. So if you're in a state of fear, you know, these guys are soldiered up. They're ready for war. You know, they're going to go out and fight some war. They're all scared. They're facing their death, and they're covered with this Hans Purple, and they're turned into terracotta. So obviously they were removed from this dimension into another dimension. And so I find that very compelling. I find that to be evidence of the spirit demon realms agenda in the death culture of this cell to get some of the biology, some of what the essence of what we are, which is blood, and take that essence for themselves, because they don't have it on their own. That's why they need the worship. That's why they need your worship, because they don't have anything. They have to constantly take in order to have anything, and they're never fulfilled because they're not in a point of matter, and they won't get here until they knock this off, right? So, but or they exist solely that's it. Or they exist to assist in the dying cell aspect. So in a way you can embrace that and just be like, okay, then maybe this is needed. You know, death, life, right? Isn't this a little bit how it works? At least it's how it works here. So you can demonize it a little bit, or you can look at it as part of the process. Either way, we need to know about it. We need to know what the process is, and we need to know who we are, what our origins are, what our purpose is. And I think when the flow changes, that won't be a mystery to us anymore. We'll be sitting there and we'll be looking at it. You go back to and I really think that the DNA stuff, I want to speak to that really quickly, is a little bit bogus. It's being presented to us from these AI sources, the medical industry, scientists. And what I see when I look at that is the snake. And I can't help but think, like, that's the little path they want us to go down to get into their realm. I'm not sure I identify with that. To me, my origin is my blood type, is my blood. And it's more than my blood or blood type. It's my blood frequency, which is going to be my next video. I'm not going to get into it too much here. But I think they lie to us on so many levels here. In this death culture, especially about identity and so forth, because they want all the essence. All of that goes to them. So they're going to present it to you however they can for you to give it over, for you to hand it over, whether it's through the medical industry, whether it's through spirituality, whether it's how you identify yourself. I mean, they've got this upside down and backwards. Right. I'm just looking over my notes here. So when we get turned on, right? Because I think a lot of the words that we have to use here are not what we think that they are. Like magic. Magic, I think, is something that is used by the demon spirit realm. Second heaven, Venus, black sun. That's what that is. Anytime we see those eclipses, that is that spirit realm. That's why it feels evil, and I think it really is. But anyway, so when the light turns and reverses back, I think that we will see visually, optically, what we are. You know how I said this is your soul. So your soul's ignited, you're turned on, and suddenly your biology and that thing you're calling spirit and soul is visible to you. It's visible out here. And I like this. This is a picture I have in my house. I'm going to use it right now because this is Troy's art. This is a figure sort of based on the Wheel of Time. So this would be like a brown Aja. I don't know if you've ever read that series, but I recommend it. And see how they're moving the energy. And see how it's visible? And here he has it portrayed in all these colors, which I believe it would be maybe colors we've never seen before. And I'm not going to call this magic or wielding of the electromagnetic field or anything, even though that's likely what it will be. I feel like we need to come up with new words for this. And I found this to warp and weft. To warp and weft is the turning of thread into fabric. That's what warp and weft is. So I've been using this term as when we get our souls turned on and we can be in full awareness of our ability, our biology, and we are able to wield the field, which is what we'll be doing. We will be wielding the field to warp and to weft, that this will be all visual to us. We'll know exactly who and what we are. We'll know what our purpose is here in the well. We'll know what to do. We'll know what to take care of. We'll know that we are caretakers of the garden, and we'll be able to do it. We'll be able to assist nature and to be part of it completely and totally. Like we can't be here in the death cell. And I think it will have, I use this visualization because I just think it's so powerful. Here is someone wielding the field. So the warp and weft, the ability to see your creativity and connection with the world and field around you. And this will be a state of life that does not include confusion or amnesia, okay? Because the amnesia won't be any part of it, because you will literally be able to look around you and see where you are. You'll see that you're in the cell or the eye or the brain or whatever it is. And I'm going to talk a lot more about biology in my next video, which I do hope to make soon. But let's get through this. So the prey versus the predator too, behavior. And I really feel that anytime that you pray, so we're taught this our whole lives, are to pray, to ask the unseen for help. And this does work for a lot of people because they are playing within the energies of what's going on here. So, if you want to use words like Zeus and these religious name-calling things, they probably will come and help you, because you are in the death culture stage, and they want us participating in that. But I really think that there's a different way to look at that. So the next time you're feeling like it's hard, you're alone, you feel like you need a desire to me, you want to reach out and something, I'm so alone out here, like, that mode where the people pray from, maybe consider the fact that all of this is going on inside of you. And there are beings within you that feel the same way, that are disconnected because of where we are in this. And just start connecting with your biology a little bit more. And maybe just change the outlook of it. It doesn't have to be this invisible, unseen thing. And the more that you care for and love your biology and start to understand that you are the encasement of everything that is beautiful and love and fascination and wisdom is all within you, that is what you are. And that is what everything outside of you is participating in as well. You're not alone. There's some little person like me, there's a little puppy, whatever, running around within this realm. And they need you. They need your energy to be a particular way. So we're never alone in that, in the sense of biology. When you're going to bring it into biology, we are all in this together. We are all the blood. We are all this inside of this beautiful being, whoever they are, and they are infused with our essence, and they are living a moment that we are a part of. Like this can be so beautiful. Do you see where I'm going with this? Like when the light's reversed and we can see it all, it will be obvious. But here in our blindness, we can start to get a feel for the possibility of the incredibleness of biology. And, a lot of people here think that we're in a sim. I think we're already in this computer program and stuff like that. And I think there's a really potent reason why they feel that way. It's because that is the agenda. That is what AI wants to pull you into. The demon spirit realm very much wants you to think that way. And I think these only encourage that kind of thinking. You know, the more you interact with these devices, the more you will have those weird synchronicities that that kind of further that thinking that you're in a sim or that you're in a computer. Well, I think that they would love to compress us into that. Of course, that's within the hive mind right now that to think that way. And I don't think people are wrong for thinking that way. They're having a legitimate two-dimensional experience in that regard. They really are. And I think you can go deeper down that road, you know, that's available to get compressed into that 2D reality. That backwards spinning Venus black sun reality. It's there, it's available to you, and you'll find a bunch of truth over there. But is it a deception? Is it where you want to go? Is that where you want to go? Do you want to live in a sim? Do you want that to be the truth? You know, and one of the things I realized, it's very easy for people to think that way as well, because we've all been herded into these cities. And these cities sit on grids. They're electrical grids, you know, an electromagnetic world. And so you get on these electrical grids and you're super controlled on these grids. That's why I'm dying to get back out into the country. And so you've got your culture and your hive mind that exists on each grid. You know, you go to a different city and it feels super different and people talk a certain way and act a certain way. It's because they're in that grid. It's because they're in that line of thinking. And then, you know, you go somewhere else and you have to kind of adjust to the sim that's going on there. And they are like sims. It's true. And most people have not lived in nature. Most people have not gone up into the mountains or somewhere remote and spent a long time out there. I know this. I have done this. This is why I am so adamant about the biology. I've lived in nature for years and years, got super connected to it. I understand what that means. It means so much, you guys. If you could get out there and really do it for a while, because you have to go through like the dark night of the soul, and at first it's super painful to be out there. And then after a while, it starts to speak to you differently and it starts to wake you up differently. And most people are not getting this connection. They are living in a city. They're on these things. And, you know, that's what they're receiving on a day-to-day basis. So like I agree with them that they're sort of in a sim, but I do not agree that this is all a sim. How can you think that? You are flesh and bone and blood. You came out of an organic portal that is woman through the biology of man and came into this being here. And it is vital for us to understand that we are the blood. It is vital for us to understand that that is our vibratory essence. That is our identity. That is who we are. And this is our natural matter-collected biological world that we live in right now. And it is in its death state because it is going to go from that to another growth state. And we're all ready for that. We can all feel it. We're all sort of waking up to it. But there's so much deception around everything that I think it's really easy to get pulled off into different aspects of this. So I don't agree with anybody that the sun is a simulator. I don't agree that we're in a sim or that we're in a computer program. I believe that's where they'd like you to go. I'm sure there's a really beautiful sun simulator somewhere in a little grid patterned AI world where you can continue to worship gods and do the whole thing. But you won't be in flesh and blood and bone. You know, if you find yourself somewhere and you're not blood, then you know that they got you. Well, then you're probably a demon. So as long as you're flesh and bone and blood, you are it. You're everything that you've been looking for. And it's out here, but you're probably going to understand it here first. Look within. Look within. Study biology. Study the human egg and the human eye. Study neural pathways and the electrical components of the body, and you will know who and what you are instantly. There'll be no confusion. There'll be no misunderstanding. And it will be so beautiful when we can actually see this outside of ourselves, when we can warp and weft the essence of everything into the field around us. And that's going to be huge and potent. I want to share a quote with you that I found a little while ago. It goes, "I who was born to die shall live, that the world of animals and the world of men may come together. I shall live." It's an Inuit legend. Okay, I'll show you the little, and it's backwards, of course, there, because everything's running backwards. But anyway, that's how the quote goes. It's an Inuit legend. I grabbed it off the movie Iceman, one of my old favorite 80s movies. It's a super great movie. It's definitely super 80s. But it really spoke to me about a blue world into a red world. I who was born to die. I was born here to die. So the death culture, dying cell. I was born here to die. Shall live. The world of men and animals shall come together, and I shall live. Does that feel right to you? Does that feel like where we're going? The world of men and animals to come together. You know, I studied animal communication for a long time, and I happen to know through that, because you learn telepathy, that the world of animals is huge, and it's going on all around us, and it's really something. The wisdom there is unbelievable. When that comes together with us, you know, we diminish these creatures all the time. We act as though, you know, we have a right to do everything that we do to them. But we will find out in the days that come, and when the light illuminates all of us, that they are our best friends, that there's no differentiating us from them. And you know, hopefully there's a whole realm of forgiveness and love for everything that happened here, which of course there will be. Of course, how could it be any other way? So let's see if I covered all of my open doors hiding in plain sight. Yeah. You know, it does explain a lot why as humans we feel so helpless. You know, we're just so blinded here, and we're cut off from all the things that generate power within us. We're cut off from our biology that we sit here in every day. Ignore it, put a pill on it, you know, so much is centered around us, like diminishing it instead of and not glory, not things like that. Those are things that the gods want, but just to revel in what we are, and in the beauty of it, and the vibratory nature of it. It's like a song. You are a song. You are a musical note. Your organs, you will be singing at one point an incredible song of growth and life and nature. And it will come out of probably every pore of your body through your organs. And that will be, it will be wisdom on the wind. It will be everything we've been cut off from in its full imagining. I mean, well, there's another word I think is imagine, is a spirit realm world. So instead of the trickery and the unseen forces and all the things that we allow to control our lives, there is an essence that we are. So let me describe it like this. Check this out. Hold on. I've always read Tarot, right? And I really love, I really love reading Tarot. And then I started to realize recently, like, oh, there's a death card right there. You know, this is a 2D thing. Like, how much of this is and you know, people read these online and they're like, let's ask our spirits and guides, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, sometimes they're so accurate, and like they give really good readings, and I've given really good readings. And what I realize is that this is more absconded bullshit. So It's not spirits and guides that are coming through a tarot deck. This is the field. This is the unseen field and force, and you are tapping into it using these cards. And this is coming from your ability to read the field. But since we're blinded here and stuff and we can't see anything, we're using these 2D cards to try to interpret it. So kind of like with the Aurora thing I was saying, it's like some things look like they're 2D to me, or maybe spirit realm or demon realm, but is there a way to interact with that and interface with it within the understanding of biology that could just sort of change where you know that that comes from? So instead of saying, oh, I'm going to do a reading for someone, I'm going to say, we're going to work within the energy of our fields, within my field and with the person's field that I'm going to do a reading for. I do not invoke anything else. I do not invoke a spirit realm or angels or guides or any of that stuff. That's inviting a lot of trouble in my opinion. We have the field right here that is part of biology. It's not an empty field. This isn't dark matter or what, all this bullshit that science says it is. This is gases and oxygen and everything has an essence to it. And so one of the other things I was thinking about the 2D stuff too, let's see if I can find this picture really quick, is you can tell I've been waiting a while to talk. I've got so much to say. I'll probably stop this soon so it's not too long. Is that another thing we're really trained to do with these devices, as I sit here and stare at it looking for something, is that we're always capturing the biology. So, you can look at my gallery here of all my photos. I love taking nature photos. Like I have an Instagram, it's all nature. And I'm out taking a photo of something the other day, and I realized, oh, I'm taking biology and I'm taking the natural world and I'm compressing it into a 2-dimensional form and feeding it to the spirit realm. I'm like, wow, that sounds awful. Like, I don't want to take pictures anymore. That's not my intention. And so they're using, here we go, screenshots. They're using this, and you've probably seen these, photos on Instagram and stuff, where it's just like your phone taking a picture of nature. They really want you to do this. They really want you to do this because it takes this biological, beautiful realm of matter that we live in and compresses it down for them and feeds it to them. And it's like, shit, I love taking photos. I love being out in nature and capturing the moment. And so what I've done to try to balance this for myself is leave this at home. Today I left this at home and went out with my dog and spent time without it in nature. So I still enjoy going and taking photos, even though I feel like I may be feeding a demon by doing so. I'm also enjoying myself. I'm also enjoying sharing the nature that I captured with other biological beings around me. So I feel like it's really about temperance. It's about understanding what's going on and what you're doing and tempering it. So anytime I go out in nature, I'm not always going to have my phone and I'm not always going to take pictures. Sometimes I am. And, you can put intention around these things. You can say, oh, I'm taking a picture of this beautiful rock, but it is for my biological friends to look at and notice and enjoy and appreciate. That's my intention for this picture. My intention is to share it with my fellow blood essences. There's not good words, but that's okay. So, intention. So like my friend who really loves the Aurora Borealis, even though I might think, that's kind of questionable. When he connects with that and looks at it and takes that in or speaks to it or whatever it is, if his intention is love, he's fine, in my opinion. He's fine. He's doing great. He's enjoying that. That's fine. Just know that that's there. Know the spirit in the demon realm exists, that it's got its straw out, that it's killing off the cell right now. That's its purpose. If we can be aware of this and stay within our biology, and we can navigate this all better, and we can do it together, and we can share and discuss like this different ways about that and how to maybe get away from some of the trickery. And you know what I'm trying to say. Hold on a second. this kind of caught my eye. All the power we generate is given over and with full consent. So consent is a really big part of living here. You know, you have to think about consent quite a bit because they're always after your consent. They don't really get away with what they're doing here without your consent. You know, this is a cartoon realm coming in here and trying to grab at something real. So consent is relevant. So anytime these kinds of things pop up and you stop for a minute and you go, well, wait a minute, what is that? And what am I feeding there? You know, your consent comes into play. So like I said, with intention, we can navigate around this stuff and perhaps find a way to feed each other in our biology through love as opposed to constantly feeding this two-dimensional demon realm. So what power, beauty, and wisdom that truly are in this world comes through the physical. And there is not a spiritual, there's not a spiritual idea out there that they're all going to disagree with what I just said. You know, any new ageness, any religion, anything is going to be in opposition to what I'm saying because that's all big highways of feeding power into the spirit and demon realm. So that's how I truly feel about it. I am comfortable in my body. I am comfortable as the blood. I live inside a cell of another body and so on and so forth. And that is who I am. That is my identity. This is my soul. I cannot wait to receive the light in its true essence through this form or through my next form, whatever that takes. So I guess I will stop there. And anything I forgot, I'll put in the next video. The next video is going to be about blood types again. And it's going to be super different than my last blood type videos. Because my last blood type videos were, I was really, you know, searching through like biblical stuff and old documents and old versions of the Bible, looking for those bloodline stories, which I do believe the Bible is bloodline stories. I do believe these are our stories who've been, and it's been absconded and taken over by the demon realm. That's why I like the older versions of them and so forth. And, you know, if you don't like me, some of this stuff, you're like super religious and you found my channel through all that just happened, you know, just move on. It's fine. You know, everybody gets to think how they want to think. But my channel is going to be about